can I be that successful at that age? Because that would be awesome. Yes, I'm embracing the fact this is quite an odd angle. I mean, here's Olaf up here, and that's just all kinds of weird. But this is the only spot in my room at home that has decent lighting because my window is behind the camera. At least I'm making a video, right? At least that's what I tell myself. So today, as you can tell, I'm back home for the summer. I finished college like about 2-3 weeks ago. And I am back home now for the summer, and it's great and exciting, even though I am taking summer classes, but it's fine. Besides that, everything is great. And today I'm actually going to talk all about Connor Franta's new book, Note to Self. And I'm kind of sad. I usually and should have a copy of the book with me here because I own 2 copies of the book. I know, that's kind of ridiculous, but I do. I own 2 copies. One that I pre-ordered and one that I got because I met him in Orlando with one of my friends, and I will talk more about that later, but I have 2 copies of said book, and my one copy is actually being used by my mom right now because she wants to read it, and I'm glad that she wants to read it because I want everybody to read it because it's phenomenal, but we'll get into that. So side note, for those of you who don't know who Connor Franta is, which I assume you probably do because you're on YouTube right now watching this video, so you probably know who he is, but if you don't know who he is a YouTuber, obviously, as I kind of just sort of said in that little side bit about him. He is a YouTuber, and he became famous through the group O2L, and for those of you who don't know who O2L is, they were 6 different people, and they're all amazing and wonderful, and I'm obsessed with all of them, but I kind of joined the O2L fan boat way after it was normal. For those of you who don't know who O2L is, they're a group of YouTubers who used to exist as a group. They still exist as separate YouTubers, but the people in the group are Keenan JC, obviously, my faves and my loves, Connor Franta, Ricky Dillon, Sam Podorf, and then Trevor Moran, and some of you probably know who those people are separately if you don't know if they were part of a bigger group together. But anyway, so they all started out as a group, and then that's kind of how they became popular now in their own separate channels, and they all have been doing their own stuff. Like Ricky Dillon's doing his own stuff, Trevor Moran, Sam Podorf's married, Keenan and JC obviously have their own channel that they do together, and then Connor Franta's on his own too, and he has like his own compilation albums, and he has his own clothing brand, and he has his own coffee. Like he's doing great things for himself at I think the age of 23, 24. Like, can I be that successful at that age? Because that would be awesome. But anyway, he just came out with his second book called Note to Self, and again, I'm sad I don't have a copy with me because it's gorgeous and beautiful, but I will try to find as many photos of the book as I can and put them in this video because the book is beautiful and gorgeous and so pretty. But this is his second book. His first book is a work in progress, and I actually did not read that book, so it's a lot more like biography, like about his life or autobiography since he wrote it. And this book is still kind of that same thing, but it's such a unique format of a book. It's filled with pictures, it's filled with poems, it's filled with little short chapters, and it's a really short book, but it's so good. The poems are gorgeous, the pictures are beautiful. Like, I honestly can't rave about this book enough, and I wish I could like fully express how wonderful it is, but easily a 5-star book. Simply said, it was wonderful. I loved every single thing about it. If I can find some of the poems and stuff, I wish I had the book, but my mom has it right now and she's reading it, and she's at work, and so she has a book at work, or I would steal it for this video, but she has it. And I've been wanting to film this video and talk about this book forever because it's amazing. It's so good. Even if you don't know who Connor Franta is and know nothing about him, I still recommend reading this book because it's so good. It's a very short book, as I said, and honestly, I didn't think I wanted to read the book until I listened to the audiobook because I really like the audiobook because it's obviously done and spoken by him himself, and that's really cool. And so I just kind of like didn't think anything of it, and I used the app Overdrive, which is, it's a long story if you don't know what Overdrive is, but basically it's just an app that you can get e-material from your library. So there's an option to recommend the library to buy the audiobook, and I was like, yeah, of course, so I recommended it. And then like a week later I got a notification that they'd actually bought the book, and I was shocked. I mean, I'm shocked because I recommended it, but I'm also not shocked because it's like number 3 on the New York Times bestseller list right now. So I mean, why would you not want a book that's, you know, doing so well in your library? So I haven't gotten a chance to actually listen to him reading it yet, but I'm excited to be able to go back and do it again because I think this is a book that I'll probably read 20 million times, as many times as I feel like, which will be probably a lot, because it's very short, and it's just, you can even read like the little poems and not even read the short chapters, but I think he's such a cool guy. He's so inspirational, so just like, he's wonderful. And I think a lot of people, I'll get into this a little bit more, but a lot of people, when I went to meet him at the meet and greet, were crying because he can relate to a lot of people, and also he's one of like the first, I would say, YouTubers who came out as being gay on YouTube, and that's very inspirational to a lot of different people, understandably, because someone like him coming out is kind of a big deal. And obviously he came out on such a big platform, and he's so cool. He's just a cool human being. So my story of meeting Connor Franta isn't as exciting as probably it should be or could be. That's nothing against him, it's just the way that the format of meet and greets usually go. It's usually just like a quick, like, you meet them, you move on, that's it. So my goal in life, for people who don't know, is to meet every member of O2L. And I have 3 of 6 down now, so I'm halfway there. And I'm so sad I wasn't at Playlist Live, because I could have gotten the rest of them done, but it's fine, it's okay. It'll happen someday, I feel like it will. But his meet and greet was really quick and short. It's just you met him, took a picture with him, that's really it. But the thing I noticed about him is, and maybe this is just me thinking this because I love him so much, but I think he was almost upset that, you know, the meet and greet is so quick. Like, you could tell afterwards, he'd take a picture with you, and each person, he'd like talk to them for like 30 seconds to a minute about whatever, and you could tell he was like, I don't know, you could just get the vibes from him that he wished, if he could, he would spend more time with each person. And so for me, we just took a picture, and then he basically just said like, oh, I hope you enjoy the book, and my response was, I will, and he laughed, and I was like, no, I really will, and he's like, okay, good. Like, but again, I know it's silly to say, but I knew at the time that I'd love his book because I love him, and I knew what the book was kind of like, and I knew the format of it, and I would have read it by that time, except it was literally like the day after it came out and finals and stuff, so it didn't happen. But I knew I was going to love the book, and I told him that because I'm sure that it was going to be amazing, and I was right, so I'm not upset that I told him that at the time, even though he laughed at me and thought it probably was kind of weird. But then again, who doesn't think I'm weird? So that is really all I think I can say about that book. I wish I could talk more about how great the book is and tell you everything about it, but I think it's just one of those books. I feel like I say this with a lot of books, but it's just one of those books you just have to read and experience. It's written in such a different, unique format, and even if you just like photography, you can look at the pictures in the book and they're stunning, and the poems in the book are so well written, and like, he's so talented at what he does. It hurts me because I wish I had half the talent that he does. Not even half, like even like 2% of the talent he had, I'd be satisfied and happy in life, but he's so talented and it hurts me, honestly. So that is really all I have to tell you about meeting Connor Franta and reading his book and all of the things about Connor Franta and how great he is. But if you have not read his book, I highly, highly, highly recommend reading it. It's so good, so worth it. I cried probably more than I care to admit, and I never cry for anything, so if that tells you anything right there, you should just read it for the fact that I cried, because I don't cry for literally anything in life, so like, that's a big deal on its own. So that's all I have for you today, and I will see you next time.